Hi, everybody.
I'm Maria.
I'm Max.
And this is Flower.
And we're confused.
But excited about building a house. This is a general update.
You're going to hear some dog panting into the microphone. Yeah, and more specifically, what is water? Water is way more complicated than you would think.
So first of all, thank you for joining. We love all our new friends. We love to hear about your construction stories. So make sure you subscribe and like. So we are in plastering. Once they lay the kind of masonry work, you put a layer of mortar over it. So that's what gets you like smooth walls.
The other thing is that's where the electricity goes. So you just run plastic pipes, PVC pipes, through the plastering, and then you send the wires in through that.
So currently it's a bit of a balancing act because you've got the electricity people, you've got the plumbing people, and you've got the plastering people. You kind of, it has to sort of be a dance, but sometimes you don't know where things go until you see the shape of the room coming through. Then you're like, oh, actually we want a light here, and then you have to like make a little channel and then put the piping and then refill it.
Also important to note, there's a step after that called copras, which is like the same word they use for the hard part inside of a coconut, which I think is so, that's not a word.
I don't know how it's related.
That's a word I suddenly encountered twice living here that I'd never encountered before. In two different contexts. And that's where really the artistry comes in, shaping the curves, shaping the corners. To tie it back to water, the plastering, again, we really want to use fresh water because we don't want the salt to cause sort of cracking. We don't want it to cause rust in the metal that's implanted in the walls, embedded in the walls. And it's a time-sensitive process. It's like you really have to make sure you have enough water before you start, or else it'll start cracking. It won't come out the way you want it to come out. So that's been another area where we've had to buy a lot of water. It's been really touchy just in terms of making sure there's always enough water. There's always communication with the fundis on site of like, oh, we're running low on water, we're running low on sand. We need to keep the process going.
So that layer of mortar, ours is on the side of 2 inches. So it's a lot of cement, a lot of sand, and a lot of water. It's a big part.
It's a lot.
It's been going for about 2 weeks, and we're close to the end now.
Knowing the way we've beamed about our Fundi Asimiti team, it's going stunningly well. So good. So nice, so clean. The edges look great. You could walk around in there, you can lean against the wall. And you're not afraid you're going to knock over a bunch of bricks or something, or stab yourself on a big piece of hoop iron that's sticking out between the bricks. Hey, babe. I think we accidentally made like a really big house.
So, as a recap for everybody, what is our water situation? What do we have, what don't we have? Hi, baby. Is rainwater. So, you found this stat. How much water does Flower to be panting into the mic?
The microphone is going to be like,
come over here. Today she'll know how to lie down.
Come over this way.
Oh,
good girl. So sweet.
She's my baby.
So according to Google, we get about 750 millimeters of rain per year. So
here in Malindi.
According to my sketchy grasp on the metric system, that means we get about 1 liter per meter is about 1 millimeter of rain annually. That means if our roof area, or the area that we can hopefully capture with the gutter, put a pin in gutter, is about 170 square meters. That means we should be able to capture
this number.
I was like, that's not going to be multiplied in my brain. The problem then becomes things like water pressure, things like the fact that most of the rain happens only within like a 1 or 2 month period here. So it's a very, very concentrated deluge of rain, and then we have to store it.
So what % of that square roof can we capture?
Right.
That comes down to the shape of our roof and how well we can get the gutters placed. Again, remember we're off grid, so we don't have, this is what we have. We've put in the rainwater harvesters or gutters, rain gutters. On the tiny house on the living addition roof, And
turns out placing gutters around a slight curve isn't as easy here with the materials that are locally available as you would hope or think.
We've been doing some
We're working on it.
Research, Then the piping comes down from either side and goes into this small tank.
Yeah.
And apparently this is fine because water is magic.
Yeah.
So you don't need a pump to go from the ground to in here, because the source of the water is higher than the tank. Physics.
Ain't that something? It's usually my enemy, but today it seems to be okay.
So this is the water level. Apparently it was full. When it rains, it's full, and we're fully into the rainy season.
Wow.
So that really helps our fresh water problems.
Me and physics are working on our issues.
Yeah. So basically, we'll just tell you where we are. This is us being vulnerable because we don't know that we have the right answer, but working with our plumber, this is our water diagram.
Yeah.
Pump up, flow down, gravity down.
Yeah.
We wanted to avoid having a pump that turns on every time we turn on a faucet in the house, because obviously, again, we're off-grid and we're going to be on solar, so we don't have that kind of electricity. Yeah.
The pump will pump up to here. This is the automatic pump.
This is the automatic pump.
So there will always be pressure here.
Yes.
Will this be enough pressure for the shower without its own pump?
Now based on his thing where we put these ones as 2 inches and the inside as 3/4 inches, he thinks that'll be enough pressure.
Okay, I guess we can always install another pump.
That's true if we don't feel like it's enough pressure. Gutter, here. These fill here.
Every now and then the pump kicks in and drags
this water up here. So this is kept full.
Yeah.
And it comes here. It's a bit DIY. It's a bit unconventional. And that's something we've ran up against so much in this construction process. Suggesting something, hearing it's impossible, digging deeper and finding out it's just that person has never done that before, or that's not how it's done here.
Yeah.
We're in a unique predicament, so we really have to try unique solutions.
So for drinking water, we can drink out of like a 20 liter, like a water dispenser. For dishes, for our little pool project that we want, salt water is probably okay. Yeah, the borehole is perfect for the pool. Yeah. You got a salt water pool. So we want to
use little to no chlorine.
Yeah, we want to do a mixer, like a 3-way mixer of salty, fresh, and both. That's inside the house, that's easy to access, that feeds into a loop that goes around and supplies the whole house. So another big question with the rains starting is right here. You can see this driveway, which we painstakingly shaped earlier in the season, has already started to develop a big trench, which we're afraid will eventually just eat the whole thing up. And if it weren't for the geotextile, I think this would have washed away a lot worse. So we hope to put like a man-made trench over here so as to redirect the water so it bypasses the rest of our driveway. As to whether it'll work, we'll see, but this is the first real test. In the rainy season, the tanks will probably be full since we have a good amount of water in our projections. But there's some dry seasons, and even in the last 4 years we've been here, some dry years. So the next piece in the water puzzle. So the house is about maybe 80 meters from the ocean. And so we have a borehole. The water we get from there is ocean water. Yes. Completely. So I guess it's just kind of lucky because there's another place where they've dug a borehole and they got fresh water. And it's about a little bit further out, but not more than like 200 meters from the ocean. Yeah. So we tried, but it's super salty. We've also tried some very basic DIY desal solutions. You can look at the first attempt here. And this one was okay, except for the scale. A lot of it is evaporating, a lot of it is being lost. So I remember you said you got the inspo from like a video about water collection in Gaza. Back in 2016 even. Then they were having a lot of really difficult problems. So we're in solidarity, of course. So without a lot of materials and kind of complex technology, so there's basically evaporation and
reverse osmosis.
Reverse
osmosis requires a power source. Yeah.
And
most commercial systems are based on reverse osmosis.
The solar desal technology isn't widely pursued, not because it's not useful, just because there's not a high demand. So unless you happen to be in a very sunny and also very war-torn place, which is fucked up that we even, have to think about that, or you happen to live by the beach and not already be rolling in money, which is our case, as in you're not, supplying water for a mansion or a yacht or something stupid like that, then those are the few contexts in which solar desalination
is kind of currently
in a passive kind of sense makes the most sense.
I was like, the water we drink every day, like our drinking water, is made by a salt plant.
Yeah.
So the primary thing is extracting salt from like seawater, and the byproduct is like fresh water. So we actually use desalination every day.
So then other situations, as you might know from following us, like our power is currently out, and it's anybody's guess as to whether our water is even running. We love our town, except for that the water and power are just not good.
No, it's not consistent. I mean, to be fair, that's everywhere in Kenya.
Yeah.
It's just the reality of living here. So everybody kind of deals with now in this season almost daily blackouts. People who can't afford it have a secondary power source. For example, we have a generator, but that's very expensive.
I don't know if I'll put this in the video or not, but this is a side note. This is like when you think you're escaping capitalism, and the effects that like greed is wreaking havoc all over the planet. Like,
reaches to all parts of the
planet. Look no further than your electric bill.
Yeah.
It affects all of us,
Yeah.
We're just all living in different states of denial, and it's like they say, like we're not all in the same boat, but we all are in the same storm. It's just some people have much better boats.
Agreed.
We really want to become gardeners, and I think both of us have expressed the sentiment over the years that we did not inherit the green thumbs of both of our moms are incredible gardeners and can make anything grow.
Are just like, they just touch the ground and like things sprout.
The blossoms bloomed where they walked. And I don't think neither of us feel like we really inherited that, or we just it's just doesn't come easily to us. So, but we want to change that, and we want to change that.
Let me be again vulnerable for a second. So my big fear is that in this house we haven't really created any new. We've tried. We've got some small experiments, and this soil is kind of bad. It's obviously sandy. It's not the perfect loam soil for farming. But then now we're going to sand. So I'm like, this is gonna be so much worse. But I think we're twice as determined now.
Partially because we're just far away from society, and it would just be so nice to be able to have access to some growing things. Also because we've seen through this house how keeping it green affects the temperature and just makes the environment so much more comfortable.
For landscaping, I think we're pretty confident that we can get the results we want. Because despite it being close to the beach, this is a pretty green area. And I think the plants that do well in this environment already are like in plenty here.
You see the way it is?
Yeah, these ones are so interesting. I think cactus ni mzuri because imezoea hiyo mchanga, si ndio? Iko na jina yake?
Inaitwa
Kingtons. Okay. Kingtons. Alafu hii ni frangipani na hii ni snake plant. Okay. Where the site was cleared for building, we want to kind of plant a few more like palms and like salt-loving plants in the front of the house to restore what we removed in order to plant. Then the second,
plant the house.
To plant the house. So the second thing is
we can build a tree.
Food plants. So we do want to make a garden with edible food plants.
Some do grow here. We've seen by the beach, we've seen passion fruit growing. It kind of grows on a vine that attaches.
Yeah.
Very cool. And we love passion fruit.
And
things like coconuts grow well. We've also heard of things like
let me tell you, this is what I was pinning for you.
Yeah.
So I read all about biosalinity and which plants do well in salt water.
Oh, cool.
So there's been lots of experiments. Obviously, you can imagine that's a useful topic. And potatoes is actually one of them. Onions, watermelon. We see so many watermelons.
The watermelons here grow like
wild.
They grow on trees. They don't. I don't know. What's the expression? There's no good expression.
They're
hotcakes.
Hotcakes. They grow like hotcakes. Lavender and thyme and like I guess herbs are kind of like bushy. So here's our little nursery.
Yeah.
Hopefully all our plants will start in the next few days to get used to this climate.
Each of these big snake plants is just like $2.
Yeah. So crazy.
Hardy.
So that's about it. That's the long and short of where we are. And once again, thank you for being with us in this journey.
Yeah, join us again soon at some unforeseen time in the future to learn about flooring, to learn about metalwork, to learn about how we got sliding doors in there, to learn about sliding windows, painting, all the finishing details that will get us to the final stages of moving in. It's coming. The countdown continues.
Premature.
Oh, that's okay. Bye.